If you were born with North Node in Aquarius and South Node in Leo, you are by nature playful, creative, romantic, and noticeable. You possess a certain star quality. Your downfall, however, may be trying to fit other people's expectations, wearing a mask and wanting to be liked. Your North Node is calling you to develop detachment, to get in touch with your unique desires, and to express your personality truthfully and unapologetically. In this video, I talk about your gifts, lessons, and karmic purpose. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you like my work, please support me by leaving a like or a comment, subscribing, and pressing that notification bell. All of that draws views to my channel, helps me grow. I appreciate that. You also have the option of saying thank you and buying me a coffee. Additionally, for all of your questions, if you want to know what the year ahead has in store for you, if you have your birthday coming up and you'd like to know what's happening right now or what's ahead, you can always book a reading with me at anastasiadoesastrology.com. On my website, you can also check out the shop section for all of my creations, such as candles, oils, planners, and more. So definitely give that a look. Before we talk about the North and South Node specifically, let's talk about it in a more general sense, right? What is North Node? What is South Node? North and South Node are not existing physical things. They are points of intersection between the solar and the lunar orbit. And whenever we get a new or full moon right at those intersection points, we get eclipses. So eclipses have always been they've always carried this major emphasis and influence in astrology. So North and South Node, because they connect to eclipses, they also carry that huge weight in astrology. And so there's a couple of ways of looking at the North and South Node. I like to cover them both to give you perspective, but in general, I think I really like looking at the North and South Node as the rise and the fall of karma. They're very karmic. They connect to your past lives. They represent lessons you're learning. They represent energies you're carrying over from other lifetimes, and they're here to tell you how to find a better balance. So modern astrologers oftentimes tend to put the South Node down, and they tend to lift up the North Node, and a lot of times you might hear that South Node is something you're letting go, you're mastering and releasing it, versus North Node is these like blessings and your complete focus in life, right? Which is not entirely true, because, or at least that's not what traditional astrologers used to believe, right? The traditional astrologers saw South Node as the release. It's the energy of spiritual focus, right? Like South Node, even if you look at those two intersections, right, between the solar orbit and the lunar orbit, the North Node represents the point of intersection as the moon is climbing up, versus the South Node is the moon going down. So North Node, according to that energy of climbing up, has the pull towards material gains. North Node is curious, it's hungry, it's the rise of fortune, right? It's the rise, or like the strong pull. It has very material focus. It has very hungry energy. Lance Armstrong, the famous cyclist, has his Mars conjunct North Node, and so Mars, being the competitive warrior within him, conjunct the North Node, made that warrior that much hungrier. So he was willing to break rules and to go really far to win. So North Node is not just good, right? Because it can take you in the wrong direction. So looking at it as like South Node bad, North Node good is not conducive to I think a balanced understanding. And I'm a Libra rising, so I'm all about balance. And South Node, because it's spiritual and it has to do with release, is also not all good, because if you're fully releasing responsibility, you can hurt people around you, right? You can step away too much. You can sort of escape. It's good to escape in meditation, I guess, but you can escape into drugs because you're so not focused or so not connected to the material realm, to your physical body. So that's where their relationship, I think, is easiest to understand, because it's not one good, one bad. It's about how do we balance that spiritual energy with the material energy. So let's talk about having your North Node in Aquarius and South Node in Leo. Those two are always opposite one another. If you have your North Node at 15 degrees Aquarius, your South Node will be at 15 degrees Leo, always. And by nature, we tend to gravitate towards our South Node early in life. We tend to express it more comfortably because it represents your past karma and things that you are familiar with. And then North Node matures and gets stronger as you pass 40. So the official date for North Node maturity is 42. And around that time and after that, it becomes easier to find balance for you. So you may know your North Node already, but here are the dates so you can figure out if this applies to you or not, or if it applies to other people in your life. So if you were born between March 29th, 1952 and October 9th, 1953, November 3rd, 1970 and April 27th, 1972, May 23rd, 1989 and November 18th, 1990, and more recently, December 19th, 2007, August 21st, 2009, you have North Node in Aquarius and South Node in Leo. And here are some famous people that are in the same boat as you are. Taylor Swift, Brigitte Bardot, Albert Einstein had the same placement, and he was the scientific Aquarian genius, right? Tupac Shakur and Elon Musk all have their North Node in Aquarius. So in order to understand your North Node, we first have to talk about your South Node, right? So South Node in Leo is quite interesting because for some people, this may show up as being born in some kind of lucky condition. Like it might mean that you're born in like a rich family, or you're born being told that you're special. For others, it will be quite opposite. For others, there will be a sense that you know what it's like to be famous. There is a hunger for being known. There is sort of like, you know, like I said, that like star quality, that flair that you possess naturally, but perhaps early in life you were told that you're not special, or you were not encouraged to see yourself as valid or, you know, entitled or beautiful or creative. So then you spend early life trying to show up in that way. So early in life, there's definitely going to be a longing for fame, for recognition, for being uplifted, for being inspired. And that's where you end up trying to get there and forgetting to get in touch with yourself, right? Like that's where the mask wearing comes in. That's where playing a role that other people expect of you comes in. Like if your father would tell you not to wear makeup ever, or if you were raised a certain way and then you sort of fit in those roles, or you continue to embody that role. At some point of day, I'm getting this light on my eyes. Just like a funny light, crazy light starts to come in, which is kind of cool. But yeah, like the shadow is that you don't get to express yourself because of early conditioning, because of your career, because of what you find yourself doing or who you find yourself being with. The attachment to image, the attachment to your looks, or the attachment to the approval of others can be quite strong with this placement, right? And the goal, another shadow side here is keeping up the appearances. Like you're not sharing what's truly going on a lot of times. And romantically, there could be turbulence. There could be some ups and downs that you're not perhaps telling your friends or your family about, and you're just sort of trying to maintain the appearance of everything being smooth. I have a friend with this placement. She told me she got divorced like after already 5 months have passed, and they've had a lot of back and forth of breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together, and I never knew. So there was definitely that element of like, you know, everything's fine, gotta maintain the appearance, gotta kind of keep up the good quality, or keep up the appearance of what people know about her. So with your soul maturity, as you get older, right, and you become more aware that this is not satisfying, that fitting the expectations of others is not supportive of your true growth, you're trying to ask more questions, you're trying to rebel a little bit, you're starting to share your true thoughts and feelings and desires and interests with other people. And at first it might be hard, because at first you may feel like other people are not approving of you. Maybe you become a humanitarian, maybe you become interested in astrology, or you find some kind of, you know, feeling like an outcast can also be quite strong with this placement. But as you get older, you're finding groups of people who also feel like outcasts, and you bring them all together and you kind of connect with them and create a community of people who are maybe different and unique, and also don't know, or also struggled with expressing their true self. You learn to care less about the looks, you learn to care less about what other people think of you. You learn to be open-minded, right? You learn to be detached in terms of love and romance, and perhaps build relationships that are first and foremost based on friendship, and not all of the dramatic back and forth. You will, I think, find a lot of satisfaction with this placement by exploring humanitarian and social causes, and doing work that is fulfilling versus just craving fame, which is the shadow side of Leo, right? Promoting equality, promoting fairness, promoting justice in the world will feel true to you. My boyfriend has South Node in Aquarius, North Node in Leo, and he just has these like very strong ideas about the way the world should run. So you as a North Node in Aquarius can be someone who takes that energy and runs with it, right? Like breaks away from like the old, because Aquarius is very progress oriented. Watch out for being dogmatic, right? Sometimes the shadow side of Aquarius can be like, I know the right way and it's my way or the highway, so be careful there. But dealing with scientific topics, learning about future nutrition, or learning about new technology, you know, Elon Musk has this placement, right? Tesla, electric cars, all of that kind of stuff, like so much innovation and progress. Building community, forming connections that are true to who you are versus fitting. I keep saying this, but like it's really you may find yourself in situations where people think they know you, but they don't truly know you. And these relationships don't feel happy to you because you don't get to shine and you don't get to show who you truly are at the core. So by becoming more open-minded, by becoming more open to other people, by admitting to yourself and to other people that your interests maybe do not fit the mold, or maybe there's something about you and the way you think that's different, by becoming more detached and objective, you will actually find closeness. You will actually find that recognition that your soul desires with your South Node, right? So it's very much the moment you step outside of the ego and focus on something beyond yourself, or get honest about who you are and don't worry about other people not approving of you. And that's when you find true recognition for who you truly are, and it will feel that much more important because it's that much more truthful to who you are. Early in life relationships, like I said, could be quite tumultuous, or you may find yourself knowing what your partner wants and sort of stepping up to give them what they want and trying to please them. But then as you keep getting older, you will choose relationships that are more friendship-like, or that have a little bit of detachment, that have a little bit of maturity and coolness, right? You are becoming more Saturnian in some level. You're learning to find authenticity and truth in relationships and model relationships based on friendship first versus everything else. So some of your gifts are creativity, connection to children. You can find yourself quite easily. You might get along with children quite easily, but like I said, struggling to separate from the expectations of others. And as you keep growing, you're learning to find a better balance. You're learning to find a balance between my desires and the desires of community, between your role in the world and your desire to, you know, to be playful or be a parent or create. It's all about, not about giving up on one over the other, but instead trying to have a better, fair relationship between the two. And if you feel like you've been too focused on, you know, volunteering, taking care of other people, exploring these off balance, unique topics, just do some Leo, right? Find balance by being creative, find balance by dancing, by hanging out with kids, by having some role-playing session with your partner or something, doing something fun, going out, painting the night out, getting dressed and going shopping. Please let me know how this resonates down below. If you have anything to add, if you see this in you, I'd love to hear that down there, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.